your event organiser, Alison, she was telling me you guys are going to be a tough bunch to crack. I already know how tough you are. I was speaking to one of your members the other day. Little guy, 5'5", 55 kilos, was telling me he applied to be Madonna's bodyguard. They said, sorry, sir, we need someone tough. He said, I am tough. They said, how tough? He said, I had a farm accident. A tractor tore my arm off. I reached down, I picked up the bloodied arm and I stuck it under my good arm. I walked the 5 miles back to the farmhouse. I got the sewing kit out and I sewed my own arm back on. And they went, wow, you are tough. You've got the job. And he went, yeah. So Dad takes his daughter out to do the thing she loves most in the world, flying a kite. So there she is, she's got the string, the kite's flying up high, and Dad says to her, do you know what holds the kite up in the air? And she goes, oh, duh, Dad, it's the wind. And he said, no, it's not, it's the string. And she says, duh, Dad, the wind holds the kite up and the string holds the kite down. So Dad said to her, if you think that's true, then let go of the string. So she lets go of the string. And the kite starts to tumble and fall, and it's crashing down, and they're running after it, and they're trying to get the string. And as she gets closer, she steps on the string. And as she does, the string goes tight, and the kite soars up again. And you know, that's much like us. That's much like our work careers. The kite, that's your ambitions, that's your hopes, that's your dreams. That's where you want to be. You want to be up there soaring. And the wind, that's like our workplace. And what we say when we go into the workplace is we say, oh, make the wind stronger, make it softer, make it come from the left, make it come from the right, make it hot, make it cold. You change the wind and then you'll see me soar. But what a lot of people are forgetting is that they've let go of the string. So what's the string then? The string is literally the fibre of who you are. And if you look at a string, it's all raveled around together and it comes in these bundles. And there are 3 bundles. If you're going to hop on a plane, well, we all go economy class, but what's better than going economy class? Business class, yes. But what's better than going business class? First class, yeah. You know what's better than going first class? Is going on one of the Prime Minister's jets. These are the VIP jets. Now, I wasn't with the Prime Minister, I was then with Foreign Minister Alexander Downer, and we were headed off to Indonesia to do a 3-day trip where he was meeting the Indonesian President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono. Now, when you go over on these VIP jets, they take a cohort of journalists with them. So I was in the plane at the back sitting next to CYNTHIA BANHAM. She was a journalist from the Sydney Morning Herald. And I was in this phase where I was feeling a little sorry for myself. And I was looking at CYNTHIA and thinking, oh, you've got your whole career in front of you. And we got chatting. I said, what do you do, CYNTHIA? What do you do in your time off? And she said, oh, I love to run. I went, oh, just quietly to myself, oh, I love to run too. I ran for 30 years, but my knees started to give out. I said, what are you doing with your running? And she said, oh, I'm working up to marathons. I went, oh, I used to love doing marathons, and I couldn't do any of that. So I started to feel really sorry for myself. So self-pity 1, gratitude for the position that I was in, 0. We got to Indonesia and I worked with another journalist over there. His name was Morgan Mellish. Morgan was from the Australian Financial Review. Now, when I stood next to Morgan in a press conference, Morgan was about 6'3". He was about a pick handle across the shoulders, tapered down to this tiny waist because he was a surfer. He had these boyish good looks and this energy and charm, and I felt like a sack of potatoes next to him. Self-pity 2, gratitude for the situation I was in, 0. And we had one more stop on the way back to Australia. The next day we were going to fly from Jakarta and we were going to stop at a little outpost called Yogyakarta and then take the final leg back. Now, just because you came over on the government jet does not mean you go home on the government jet. It's a bit of a lottery. And late the evening before, I went to sleep and slept like a baby because I had won the lottery. Yes, which meant I did not have to get up like Morgan and Cynthia the next morning at 4 a.m. and battle Jakarta traffic. I did not have to get out of that Jakarta traffic and battle the queues at Jakarta International Airport. Nope. I think I woke up leisurely 6:30 and went downstairs and hopped into my police motorcade. And the police motorcade opened the Jakarta traffic like Moses opening the Red Sea. A smooth 15-minute trip to the airport. I got to the airport, and by 8 o'clock, I was sipping my first iced tea. And then the mood started to change because reports started to come through that a plane had overshot the runway at Yogyakarta, where we were going. The news came through, it was a Garuda flight. It was the flight that Morgan and Cynthia were on. The plane overshot the end of the runway, crumpled the front of the plane, burst into a fireball. 22 people died. And Morgan, with his boyish charms and his ascendant career in front of him, Morgan, he came back to Australia in a coffin. And Cynthia with her career in front of her, she came back about 6 weeks later with burns to 70% of her body. And that running career that I coveted, well, that was over because she had both legs amputated. And me, I get to stand here and tell you that comparing yourself against other people is absolute folly. And I don't do it anymore. What I do is I stay in my own lane. Sure, I look over my shoulder, I see who's behind me, and I use that energy to push me forward, but I don't fixate on who's behind me. Because that is called social comparison, comparing yourself against other people. It's a pointless, fruitless exercise. What I do now is I do temporal comparison, which is I compare myself against my previous efforts and my previous standards. And that is my secret. That is how I got my YouTube channel with 30 million views on it. Because when I went on there, I was like a 50-year-old bloke. I was not supposed to be on YouTube. That's where all the young people were. But I purposely never looked at anyone else's channel. And I didn't want to do that because I knew I'd fall back into that trap. I would start comparing myself. I went onto YouTube and I ran my own race, and it paid off.